So we just spent a month in Austin, Texas. About a month and a half ago, we were there for an entire month. We stayed in an Airbnb. It was super fun. We love Austin, but there are definitely some things about Austin, Texas that people just don't tell you about.
In case you haven't met us before, I'm Amy.
I'm Dallas.
And we're on a 6-month road trip through the United States, and Texas was our third stop. Today we're going to tell you a few things that nobody tells you about traveling to Austin.
So first off, it's traffic. Now, we're from Southern California. We've done a ton of driving in traffic. I've driven in LA hundreds of times. I've been bumper to bumper for hours upon hours upon hours. But the difference in Austin is that the traffic is fast and it is aggressive. I'm talking like I've never been tailgated so much in my life by like soccer moms that are just like right on me. It's pretty intense, I have to say.
It was a little stressful driving around because you feel like you constantly have to be on it. And we're used to aggressive drivers and bad traffic, but this was not like anything we've ever seen.
And maybe the difference is just that in LA and in California, there's so many people that they can't get up to that speed. But it was definitely something that was very apparent that people are like on you. I'm talking like your head has to be on a swivel for sure. And the other thing with this is that parking is absolutely terrible. It took us so long, most places we went, to find parking that we started planning where to park before we even looked at like where exactly we were going to go in these areas. And then once you park, try to do a few things.
It's pretty strategic.
Yeah, absolutely. So traffic, not only is there a lot of it, but it is fast and it is furious.
Another thing nobody tells you about visiting Austin is that the allergies in Austin are pretty bad. We brought our 2 dogs along with us, and their allergies were bad, and ours were as well.
Yeah, I have an English bulldog, as you've seen, Quinn, and she has her own allergies no matter where we are, but I had to take her to the vet a couple times while I was there, and the vet told me it's like Austin is number 2 on the list of worst allergies. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I can tell you definitely they are very bad. It's a very lush environment because of the humidity and stuff, and it gets a lot of rain, I guess, but your allergies are going to be like peaking. So just every day take one of those Claritins or something, you'll be all right.
If you've never heard of the H-E-B, you're probably not from Texas. So the H-E-B is pretty much seems like the only main grocery store chain in Texas. Not being from Texas, I saw H-E-B on the building and I assumed it was called the Heb. And I was corrected by a local that it's actually called the H-E-B, and it's a really big grocery store, kind of like Costco, but not quite on that scale.
It's like Smart and Final-esque, I would say, you know, in style and stuff inside. You can get like a lot of bulk stuff, but you don't need a membership, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they have a ton of stuff, and they have some cool pre-made dinners, but it's a great place to shop if you can get a parking spot, and you'll find them all over Texas.
Yeah, but don't call it the Heb because you'll be made fun of, even though it should be called Heb. It's a much better name than saying H-E-B every time.
It stands for Howard E. Butts, who is the founder. So, you know.
Now we know why they abbreviated it. So next on the list is the Moon Towers. Now, if you've ever seen Dazed and Confused, you know that was shot in Austin, and you know that they have a party at the Moon Towers, man.
There's a new fiesta in the making as we speak. It's out at the Moon Tower.
So Moon Towers, though, are nothing like in that movie. They are these old school, I had no idea, lighting towers that were from like the 1800s, right around the turn of the century, and they used to use like a certain kind of bulb and stuff, but basically they were a tower, and they have like 10 bulbs or something around it, and it would light up a whole area. Kind of a cool thing, and there's still, I think, 10 of them or something along those lines around the city. They're just really interesting little piece of like architectural history, something very unique.
Yeah, absolutely. We weren't expecting to see those in Austin, and the fact that they still have 10 of the original ones is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I believe they were made in Chicago, I think, and then they were like brought over, and really interesting history. So take a look at, if you're there and you're just, you know, want to know a little bit about local history and stuff, the Moon Towers are kind of a cool thing.
In California, where we live, people drive all sorts of different cars. So we were a little surprised to find in Texas that a lot of the cars being driven around are domestically made in America.
Yeah, they are proud to be American, and they drive American. And I mean, like, I've never seen so many Camaros in my life. Like,
we drove a Toyota Sienna across the country, so I don't know if that's why we were getting tailgated.
Possibly, but really, like, I mean, the fancier cars, you see a lot of Cadillacs, versus like at home, you see a lot of German cars, a lot of BMWs, Mercedes, and that kind of stuff. But Lexus is not German, but you know, you see those for like the premium cars. Whereas in Texas, it was a lot of Cadillacs. And just a lot of domestic cars, a lot of Mustangs.
Lots of Camaros.
Yeah, lots of Camaros, like so many Camaros. And then Challengers. I've never seen so many Dodge Challengers in my life. It was like every direction I turned. I started telling her, I'm like, every light we come to, you can find a Challenger.
We thought we were coming from, like, is there a car show nearby for Challengers? Like, what is going on? But it turns out that's just pretty common there.
Just super, super common. So coming from Southern California, everybody loves In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out. Don't love their fries as much, but I love In-N-Out. I know, sacrilege. But when we got there, we did find out that there are In-N-Outs in Texas, which is kind of cool, in Austin. But even better is a chain called P. Terry's. I loved it. It is so good. It's very similar in look and stuff, but the food I felt like was better than In-N-Out. I know I'm going to get...
We're going to get ripped for this one.
Going to get hate for this one, but it's so good.
It's really cool because they actually have it's a walk-up burger stand, most of them. So you can actually walk up and eat your food right there. There's no interior for most of the restaurants there, but it is a chain in Austin that's really tasty and pretty cheap.
Yeah, it was really, really cheap. It was just a couple bucks for a burger. It was a great deal. We could both eat for like, $10 or $12 or something. They also made really good cookies like in-house, and they made banana bread for in the mornings and stuff. So some unique little options. It even said that the butter that they use in the cookies was like homemade and stuff. But what we found out was that the owners of it, I think they started in the early 2000s, they watched Fast Food Nation, and they wrote down all of the things that were done incorrectly by these other chains, and they said, let's do the opposite and let's try to do it right. So I thought that was a really cool way that they approached their business.
And best part, if you're out on 6th Street or Rainy Street late at night, they are open till like 2 or 3, most of them.
Yeah, I definitely, after one-wheeling with the One Wheel group, shout out to those guys, we hit P. Terry's after it at like 11:45 at night. It was great to be able to just grab a quick burger that was still tasty too.
So before I went to Austin, I heard that tacos were a big thing there, but I wasn't expecting there to be a taco shop literally like every 50 feet.
Yeah.
It's pretty much tacos and coffee shops, some selling both, which is interesting, but you can't go anywhere without finding tacos and coffee.
Yeah, you expect to see a lot of barbecue and like Western food. You do this when you eat there. But no, it's like tacos are king for sure. And especially the Migos tacos, which are their breakfast tacos. They're so good. So you will eat a lot of tacos if you go to Austin. And if you don't, I don't know what you're doing there. But yeah, I mean, in gas station parking lots, there's a taco stand. And I don't mean like a dirty, dingy taco stand. I mean like an Instagram-worthy, most delicious tacos you've ever had taco stand while you're getting gas. So cool.
We have another video about this, actually, if you want to check out the tacos that we ate and recommend. We'll show you some of the best taco stands in Austin, which is quite hard to narrow down. So we had to eat them all just to check them for you.
I think there was 9 or 10 pages on Yelp when you type in tacos for Austin. It's just out of control, the amount. So get ready for tacos. And then, like she said, coffee. There's so many cool coffee shops. Our favorite was Radio Coffee. It has a really cool outdoor area, and they've got a couple, guess what, taco trucks right there. Veracruz is my favorite taco in Austin.
They also had a Thai place outside the food truck, which was really cool.
Yeah, but they have like live music on at night because the coffee shops actually do coffee during the day, and they do, and throughout the day they do it as well. But they give beer and wine and stuff at night, so you can
never leave.
Never
you
leave.
Never have to leave.
Pretty much.
They do trivia, and live music is huge in Austin, and just a really cool place to hang out.
So maybe this is known, but I didn't know it. It is a very young city. I mean, the average age is like low 30s, and it feels like a college town when you're there. It's pretty cool. I mean, there's a very youthful energy about the entire place. There's a lot of exciting things going on. There's lots of live music, crazy amount of live music. There's just events like every single night at different places. It is so much fun.
Austin's a really cool place to go if you're a younger person because there's a ton to do. There's a lot of free events and, of course, a lot of tacos.
We even went to one bar and we played office trivia and we got 3rd place. Super stoked. So you can find random trivia nights. You can find, like I said, live music. There's just so much to do. It is a very college town. But without being like annoying, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the city just feels really alive. Like there's always things going on and we live in the suburbs in California, and there's events.
It closes at 9.
Yeah, everything closes at 9. There's hardly ever events, but in Austin, there's always something going on, which is just awesome. We really loved Austin. One of the main reasons is because of how dog friendly it is. We brought our 2 dogs with us, and We were super happy to find that most parks, even some bars and restaurants, there's places that are co-working spaces where you can actually bring your dog with you. There's just a ton of options if you have a dog with you and you want to hang out with them. We brought our dogs to Rainy Street, which is one of the big bar hopping streets, at night, and that was really fun.
Yeah, even on Rainy, if you go to what's the sausage place called?
Bangers and Mash?
No.
No.
I think it's just called Bangers or something.
Bangers,
But
yeah.
The sausage place, you'll know it when you get there. It's like a big beer hall place with a huge like beer garden in the middle. But they even have like an area where it's a little dog run. And you can like drop your dog off in there. I mean, there's no one really watching them, but there's a little dog area, and you can like sit right next to them pretty much on like park benches that they have all lined up in like the German style, those long benches. And like your dog can be just chilling in there, or you could like bring them right over to your table and be outside with them and get food and get beer and have a great time. It's so dog friendly. I mean, I saw so many dogs.
People are just excited to see your dog, so just be aware that people will come over and pet them if they're adorable like our dogs. But it's a really dog-friendly place, and there's a ton of cool parks and other places that let you bring your dog with you as well.
So the last thing is that I found that there's a lot of cool businesses that are inside of residential areas. Now, this is probably more common throughout the country than it is in Southern California. In Southern California, everything is so kind of planned out and stuff. But when you're in Austin, you can find like a really cool little shop. Like we went to this one Curios place that was really interesting stuff going on in it. And you can it's in the middle of half of a house is set up as a business. So you can find these cool little spots and like in every little nook and cranny of the city. You don't have to just go to like one downtown area. You don't have to go to like the main streets. You can be walking along and just find something very unique. So I love that it is not super planned out and that it's just kind of scattered around with coolness.
There's so many cool little shops, vintage shops, pretty much anything you could want to buy, I think you could find in Austin. We would have loved to go antiquing there, but unfortunately an antique piano would not fit in the van.
Yeah.
So we just decided to shop around and check out some of these cool little places that you probably wouldn't find many other places.
So those are just a few of the things that we found that people didn't tell us about Austin. They may not have told you either. But I can tell you one thing about Austin. It is a great place. I highly recommend going and checking it out. If you've never been, make a trip there. You will absolutely love it. I hope you guys like this. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you guys next time.